7:39 on the 17th of October 2025. It is a Friday night. Now, I've been making claims that certain NGC galaxies should have been discovered possibly by Charles Messier and Machine and included in his catalog. What I have here is a 0.1 second exposure, which is equivalent to about a 4-inch scope. And what we hope to get is any kind of a sense, and yes we are, that galaxy NGC7331, and I'll try to set up the same magnification. 20% is 70. This is 100x. It's what Charles Messier operated at largely. And we're just getting the vaguest look at 1/10 of a second. Now I have to say, sky's pretty clear tonight. Maybe not perfect, but decent. And we are getting, I think, a faint sense. What we're seeing here at one of these galaxies, and probably this one, NGC7401. It's a galaxy in Pisces, magnitude 15. It's a spiral with a lowercase a, so it's probably something like 14.2 visual. 1 by 0.6 arc minutes, 231 million light years distant, maybe 70,000 light years in diameter. We're at 2252.58 with a declination of +1 degree, 8 minutes, 32 seconds. And there's obviously a finer galaxy off to the west, which would probably have put it in the 7300 NGC series. Okay, what we're seeing here, besides a satellite passage, it's not smoky enough to have been a meteor passage, is right there, NGC 7407. Things are lining up pretty good tonight. I had to do a 5-study alignment because the first 3 I did were pretty much in the sky's middle third, and I had to stretch out the model. NGC 7407 is a galaxy in Pegasus, magnitude 13.1. Very nice. 2 by 0.9 arc minute oblate, spiral with a lowercase c, so it is probably magnitude 13.1, 291 million light years distant, right ascension 2253.21, with a northerly declination of 32 degrees, 7 minutes, 44 seconds. Okay, now that we have some pretty decent centering with the go-to function, I thought we'd go for a really faint one. NGC 7414 Galaxy Pegasus, magnitude 16.8, but it is a lenticular spiral, so it's probably around magnitude 15.8, 0.4 by 0.2 arc minutes in size, so it has a high average surface brightness, 446 million light years distant. It's got to be a brilliant galaxy to be even found at that distance, given its size, which is probably somewhere around 50,000 light years. RA 2255.24, declination 1314.54. I'm sorry, that right A with RA was 2255.24. Okay, we're now on to NGC 7415, still probing at the upper limits of magnitude. Galaxy in Pegasus, magnitude 15. I selected this because it's an edgy on. 1.1 by 0.2 arc minutes in size, spiral with a lowercase ab, which means it's probably somewhere around magnitude 14.2 visual. 534 million light years distant, puts it about 180,000 light years in diameter. RA 2254.51 with a declination plus 20 degrees, 15 minutes, 43 seconds. I think I'm going to push the magnification up to 150 on this, and yes, we do have a couple of galaxies plus a brighter one here. Okay, what a beauty we have here. An NGC 7416 galaxy in Aquarius, so we've gone a little bit farther south. Magnitude 12.4, 3.2 by 0.7 arc minutes, another 4:1 aspect ratio. Spiral with a bar and a lowercase b. Probably the actual visual magnitude is 12.4. 120 million light years distant, means it's about the size of our Milky Way, maybe 90 to 100,000 light years in diameter. RA 2255.41 with a declination of -5 degrees, 29 minutes, 42 seconds. Very nice look. Okay, clearly we're near a very bright star in Lacerta here. Well, we've got our galaxy in the field and probably several others. This is NGC7426, Galaxy Lacerta, the Lizard, magnitude 12.3, 1.7 by 1.4 arc minutes. It's a elliptical, and there's probably 12.3 visual, 242 million light years distant, puts it about the size of the Milky Way. Right ascension 2256.03, declination plus 3621.40. A nice look on that one. Let's push the magnification a little bit. The stars are looking pretty good. If we go to this magnification here, we're now operating at 240. We're using the full resolution of the scope. And if we go to this 100% e-zoom, we are now using all the pixels available on the CCD imager. NGC7433 is anher Egeon galaxy, but there are several in view this part of the screen. Magnitude 14, so it's probably photographic, 0.7 by 0.2 arc minutes, spiral with peculiarities, 339 million light years distant, maybe 60,000 light years in diameter. Right ascension 2257.51 with a declination of plus 26 degrees, 9 minutes, 42 seconds. Okay, here we're having a 90x view of NGC 7440, but it should be brighter than that. It's a galaxy Andromeda, magnitude 13.5, 1.4 by 1.1 arc minutes. That's a little large. Maybe not. 13th magnitude, 14th magnitude galaxies sometimes approach 1 by 1. Spiral with a bar, lowercase a, 259 million light years distant, RA 2258.32, with a declination of plus 35.48.08. Sky is reasonably dark tonight. I do believe I'm going to be able to see the Cygnus rift, even though I'm having to look at the screen half the time. We're looking at NGC 7442, Galaxy in Pegasus, magnitude 13.3, beautiful because it's 1 by 1 arc minute. So its average surface brightness is also 13.3, and its averaged brightness is 13.3. Should just be able to pick it out through a 12-inch scope. Spiral with a lowercase c, I believe that is actually its apparent visual magnitude. 325 million light years distant, puts it about 90,000 light years in diameter. Right ascension 2259.26 with a declination plus 15 degrees, 32 minutes, 54 seconds inside the sky's middle third. I want to point out that I've had to skip over a lot of really nice galaxies in Grus. So anybody who's deep south should be looking right about this time of year to see if you can pick some of them out. Well, with this one, I wanted to check out the sky outside the middle third. We've now dropped down deep south in Aquarius. Aquarius, the water bearer, is a very vertical constellation. We're looking at NGC 7444, magnitude 12.8, 1.7 by 0.6, so a 3-to-1 aspect, suboblate, lenticular spiral, 136 million light years distant. RA 23 hours and 8 seconds. So we're just crossing the line now. Declination minus 12 degrees, 50 minutes and 2 seconds. There's our view. There are a couple of other galaxies in the field. And you can see how the background sky has brightened up a little bit due to being further south. Okay, we've gone a bit north on this one. Plus 39 degrees. I do believe I'm getting the full aperture on it, although these studies are getting very close to culminating, maybe within a half an hour to 45 minutes. NGC 7446, Galaxy in Andromeda, magnitude 15.7, 0.8 by 0.8 arc minutes. So that's what I liked about it. It's kind of large. It's an elliptical, so it's probably magnitude 14.3. 242 million light years distant, RA 2259.28, with a declination plus 39 degrees, 4 minutes and 58 seconds. Notice that we've regressed a little bit in right ascension, and that's because they did not get it perfect back in the era of eyepiece astronomy. Here we're getting a nice 10-second 90x view of NGC7400-7499, a galaxy in Pegasus, maybe the brightest outside of 7331 that we've seen this evening. Magnitude 11.7, 2.6 by 1.2 arc minutes, spiral with a bar and a lowercase c, 101 million light years distant, puts it about 70,000 light years in diameter. We're back above right ascension hour 23, and only 3 seconds this time, no minutes. Declination plus 15 degrees, 58 minutes, 48 seconds, a decent view. Here we have NGC7454, another galaxy in Pegasus, the Winged Horse, magnitude 11.8, 2.2 by 1.6, arc minute sized elliptical, 84 million light years distant, maybe 50,000 light years in diameter. 23 hours, 1 minute, and 6 seconds. You know what that is. I'm calculating it in hours, giving you the data in hours, so it's right ascension. Plus 16 degrees, 23 minutes, and 20 seconds. A good view. Okay, here we have probably the brightest galaxy with the biggest delta between its average surface brightness of anything we've seen tonight other than 7331. NGC 7457 is a galaxy in Pegasus, magnitude 11.2, 4 by 2.3 arc minute, lenticular spiral, 40 million light years distant, probably about 50,000 light years in diameter. Right ascension 23 hours, 59 seconds. Deck plus 30 degrees, 8 minutes, and 40 seconds. Let's do a little zoomage on this. Well, here's a nice one with a neighbor. NGC 7463, a galaxy in Pegasus. Magnitude 13.2. This is a very nicely edge-on galaxy with quite an extensive major axis of 3 arc minutes by 0.6, so it's more than a 4:1 aspect ratio. Spiral with a bar, lowercase b. It's got peculiarities, and we can understand why with that neighboring galaxy there, them tussling it out a little bit, unfortunately. Or fortunately, as the case may be, they'll give birth to a much more massive galaxy with much in the way of starburst formation. Right ascension 230151 deck, plus 15 degrees, 58 minutes, 55 seconds. Inside the sky's middle third, a good view. I'll push the magnification a little bit on this one. 2. Here we are seeing NGC 7475, galaxy in Pegasus, faint, magnitude 15.1 but an elliptical, so probably more like 13.5 visual, 1 by 0.6 arc minutes, 494 million light years distant is why I selected it, so it's probably about 175,000 light years in diameter, a very large elliptical. Right ascension 230410 with a declination of plus 20 degrees, 4 minutes, 46 seconds. Okay, we have a very nice north-south oriented edge-on galaxy in Pegasus, NGC 7479. Brightest of the evening, 10.9 magnitude, 4 by 3.1 arc minutes. Now, I don't see the 3.1 arc minutes, so that's intriguing. Right ascension 23 hours, 4 minutes, 56 seconds with a declination of plus 12 degrees, 19 minutes, and 20 seconds. Since we're only seeing the spiral arms at 10 seconds exposure, why don't we push this one as our feed? Okay, there is something very peculiar about this galaxy. It has a tail that wraps around. Maybe the reason why. Oh yes, this is a B-class galaxy with only 2 spiral arms, and that explains why. And we're only really able to see this because I am now operating at 60 seconds exposure time. Let's see if we can make it look a little more aesthetically appealing. There we go. What a beauty. Wow. I am tempted to leave this as our final study for the evening in the 7400-7499 series. We are at NGC 7479, a galaxy in Pegasus, magnitude 10.9, 4 by 3.1 arc minutes, spiral with a bar, lowercase bc, 109 million light years distant, means it's about 120,000 light years in diameter. Right ascension, 23 hours, 4 minutes, 56 seconds. declination 12 degrees, 19 minutes, 20 seconds. And why shouldn't we try to go even deeper with this sweetie? Well, I think we know what to call this galaxy. It is the Superman galaxy, NGC7400-7499. Now, unless I turn up something else of interest, I think I did discover what the helix was, something like 72, 78. We may want to go for the helix, especially now that we have such a long exposure time. Let me play with the histogram on this one just a little bit, and we'll see if we can't enhance its view. What a fabulous galaxy to have turned up in the NGC 7400 through 7499 series. This is NGC 7479. I am going to seek out as our final view for the evening, because we have such a good deep sky down to the south, the Helix planetary. And if I don't find it, for some reason I did not find it on the handset the other night, probably mea culpa, then this will be our Carpe Noctem view. Wow, we've actually got 3 stacks on this Superman galaxy, none ignored, of 120 seconds each. I'll come back and check it again. I'm still searching out the Helix Planetary Nebula's NGC designation. Okay, our final view of the Superman galaxy as I've designated it. Planetary Nebula in Aquarius, which is our final view for the evening, is NGC 7293. We will have a look at it, stacking from about 10 seconds up to 2 minutes. And that will be our Carpe Noctem view for the evening. All right, here's our 10-second view at NGC 7293. Planetary Nebula in Aquarius. Obviously, this should not be viewed at even at 60x. You really want to drop the magnification down, but we're going to push it up to 100x, 90x anyway. Its magnitude 6.3, something like 15 by 12 arc minutes in size. The central star is magnitude 13.5. That's quite visible. 520 light years distant, so it's about 1/4 the distance to the Ring Nebula. Right, and it's about 300 light years less than the Dumbbell. Right ascension 22, 29, 38. Unfortunately, one of the reasons we're not getting a great view is it's minus 20 degrees, 50 minutes, 13 seconds. All right, let's push it up to 30 seconds exposure time now. Okay, this image would be improved, however, if I were using an O3 filter, because this is an emissive. Most planetaries are emissives. They put out light at a very specific set of frequencies. If you exclude all the other light, then you get much higher contrast to the background sky. This is our 30-second exposure. And what I will do is I will play with the histogram. Ooh, we're getting the color now, aren't we? All right, so that's probably a pretty good balanced view right there. We're getting texture and color. Whitish luminosity here, emissive luminosity there. It's very spiral-esque. Let's go now for 60 seconds. Okay, 60 seconds only adds about 0.8 magnitudes to the view, which basically means you have the previous aperture. So if the last aperture at 30 seconds was around 40, we'll call it 50-inch eyepiece view. This one would be about a 75. We're operating at 60x. I will push it up to 90. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that it's better to stack from shorter stacks to longer. That way you can ensure better result. And here we go with our third stack with none ignored, and I have to go ahead and also improve. We're not even getting any stellar elongation, and the planetary looks wonderful. At, I believe, I'm trying to remember this, with 60 seconds exposure, We're going to push to 120 now before we carpe knock them out. And in the future, we might even try 240, but I'm not going to do that tonight. Here is our 2-minute view, untouched at this point as to the histogram. Let me go ahead and now I'm going to move the right slider over. Went a little bit too far. And let's see, maybe I'll push the left slider back and the right slider over. There is, well, it's not the best view, is it? Let's try. Oh, yeah, I think we've nailed the aesthetics now. 2 minutes exposure, 2 stacks, none ignored, total exposure time of 240 seconds of, I'm going to wait for the next one to come up, but as I do so, of the Helix Nebula in Aquarius, NGC7200-7499 planetary nebula, and you know what that means, a star spilling, unfortunately, its guts into space because it's severely overheated in its core, and it is showering or dowering, a better way to say it, the space around it with high metallicity astronomical metals that will go into the formation of new planets and stars, and ultimately, potentially, and I do believe this, wherever conditions are possible, you will get life. It's magnitude 6.3, about 13.5 magnitude average surface brightness, 960 arc seconds by 720. The central star, which is quite bright there, is magnitude 13.5. A mere 520 light years distance. So at some point, you never know, some of this expurgated astronomical metals may actually kiss our own solar system. Right ascension 22 hours, 29 minutes, 38 seconds, with a declination of minus 20 degrees, 50 minutes, 13 seconds. You just saw a third pass at 360 seconds on the screen of a stack, playing with the right ascension declination, right ascension error value has really improved our exposure times. And with that, I say carpe noctem.